Hello and welcome back to Kohler Commentary. This is your host Unji, and if you haven't already, make sure you listen to last week's part 1 episode with our guest Angel Kumhyang Warrenfells, a North Korean defector who shared her resilient story to where she's come now. And if you're coming back for more, we hope you enjoy part 2 of this episode.
Well, I'm glad that even though every night was hard, right? Like, and you go to bed thinking like you wanted to be back in North Korea. Right. I'm glad you're here. And I'm glad like we got to meet through church. But just to hear your story and just like a snippet of it, it's like, it is, if anything, like, I think one, you're smart. And then to layer that beyond, it's like you're inspiring, right? And like if people just have a smartness about them, right? But there's nothing that like their story can leave behind, right? Like that's great, but you have a story that can inspire so many people about resilience, just like strength to persist and stuff. And so just want to encourage you to know that you have like that, even the step above. And so thank you for sharing it. But then the next part, we will kind of go into life in America.
Oh, yeah.
Because even though like we even got a sneak peek, right? Like North Korea was freaking hard for you. But it got harder and harder. And then you got married and you had a kid.
I know.
Those are tough things.
Oh, yeah. It's not easy. Definitely.
So I guess as we go into just like personal life here.
Right.
One, I am curious, like as we share faith as well, what did your faith journey look like? Only because I hear like you and your mom left, she became a pastor. And I'm also wondering, like, did that make you introduced to Christianity, or did that even...
Yeah.
Did you not want anything to do with it because that's kind of like what took her away?
There is a really funny joke my husband made. He said like we had a small group, the previous church, and we all talk about you guys scammed your life or something like that, right? So they all talk about, when I went to China, I got scammed for this one. And then I just thought about myself, but I feel like somebody asked me, do you have that kind of experience? So I said like, oh, you know what? I don't think I never get the scam in my life. And, my husband said, like, you got scammed your life in North Korea.
Yeah.
Yes. And then I said, oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, my mom is a pastor. So, of course, without my choice, when I came to South Korea first time, from next week, I have to go to church, right? I had no idea what is church. Yeah, I don't know how to pray. Like, it's so weird. I say, God, thank you so much, something like that. But I didn't believe in God. Yeah, of course. Even when I come here, America, I always go to church, but I didn't believe in God. Because I always told people I'm not really good like hiding my emotions. So I always told people, even Kim Il-sung, who I can see, who I can hear, he just lied to us. How can I believe God, who I cannot see, who I cannot touch, who I cannot hear? But I always say one thing. If God is really alive and I can touch him, or I can see him, or I can hear him, I will believe in God. But never say like, I go to church because of my mom. I don't want to get in trouble. But I didn't believe in God. But 2012, my birthday, we had a chapel. So yeah, I was
at DBU. Okay.
I was singing, and then I heard a voice who called my name, Angel, Angel. So I thought, what is this? And I asked my friend who was next to me, he said, hey, did you call me? But he said, oh, no, I didn't call you. I said, I was just singing, and then I heard my name again, Angel, Angel. And I just closed my eyes and said, I love you. I want to hear your prayer. Oh, I cried so much. First, my prayer was, God, thank you so much for not letting me die.
Yeah.
I always want to die. I don't know why I'm here, why I'm living, but thank you so much. It was my prayer. I never thought even my parents, anybody loves me. Because in North Korea, we don't really use the word love. You know, it's so cheesy, so we don't use. And my dad was not really great dad. He was alcoholic and he always beat me. And, you know, I didn't have a good relationship with my mom. So I just thought nobody loves me. But when God said, I love you, that's all mattered to me. After I prayed, and my life is totally different. You know, I never thought the Dallas sky is that blue. It was always dark. When I go to bed, I always pray, I don't want to wake up next morning. Because it was so hard for me to survive every single day. But after I say by God, and I just get better. Yeah, He is really my God. Yeah, so I really became a Christian. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's... You can't turn back after that.
Oh, yeah. So,
Wow, I'm so glad that you had that moment, you know, and
Oh, yeah.
continuing forward, and
Right,
even just to like really, like even the search for identity and like where your worth is and that love. I can see all of that just
Right.
changing. And so that's
Right.
amazing to
I
just
know.
hear that, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah. Okay. Well, I wasn't expecting that answer. I mean, like, not many people can like hear the audible like voice or even just like
Right.
experience with God, you know.
Right,
and so
right.
that's just like, you know, you are so loved, and
I know.
that's amazing to just hear that. Okay, so then we're back here, and you are kind of like shifted, you know, with even just that encounter. And what does life look like now? Like, I know about you today is that you are married to a half white guy, just like I am married to a half white guy named Matt. And you guys also have a son who's so cute, and I guess 75% as well. Oh, right?
Korean,
so like,
yeah.
so it's always like, yay, like that shared part. But yeah, like, how did you guys meet? How was marriage? Was that part like, oh my gosh, like what were you expecting in that sense? How is it being married to someone that is of same race, Korean, right? But then so many layers within. Because even for me, there's a part like, you know, I share the same... Matt and I are both Korean, you know, so like, but there's so many misunderstandings. There's so much, you know, even in just regular marriage. And so I'm just curious what that transition looked like. And then also as you are mothering, all of that. Go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I met my husband 2011. Yeah.
Okay. At DBU?
No, the CFNI.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
What does that stand for? I know Janice went there as well.
I don't know. Because
Something
I didn't go to there.
Oh, you didn't go there.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I just went there for his class. It was ministry class to sharing my testimony. But even though at that time I couldn't speak English well,
Christ for the Nations College in Dallas.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then he had a heart for North Korea. And at that time, he worked at the Korean church as a youth pastor. So he wanted to invite me, his church, to sharing his my testimony to his kids, youth kids. But so we tried to talk, but it didn't work. And I totally forgot about him. Yeah. So here's the thing, like I told you, without my choice, I just became so popular in North Korea, right? They all know me who I am, who is my mom, right? Like, it's the same situation here. Because I was the only North Korean defector in Dallas. So everywhere I go, they all know me, even though I don't know them. So I met so many people. And also I used to share testimony at the Korean church. So he was just one of them. So I didn't remember him at all. And then 2016, I about to graduate and I was looking for a job and I got hired at Korean church as an elementary pastor. And it was actually his church. But yeah, that's how we met. But first time, of course, I didn't recognize him. Yeah, but he remembered me.
Right.
So we talked, and we started a date a month later, and we got engaged, and a year later.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and we married 2017, November 2017.
Oh, you guys have been married for a while.
Yeah.
And before you guys had Bennett as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, when my husband and I first got married, we had a hard time communicating with each other.
Mm-hmm. What made you guys attracted at
Oh,
first?
yeah. So, I don't know about him.
I mean, he's tall and he's pale like the South Korean guy.
No, I thought that he was really playboy.
Oh, okay.
Because he's playing electric guitar, and then he's so tall and good looking. So I thought maybe he's playboy, and also I feel like he's a musician. Like I feel like the musicians, they just say like, oh, I don't need money, I just enjoy my life, something like that. So I didn't like him first, but when I talked to him, I just realized that he had so much responsibility to take care of family as a man. I really like it, I think. Yeah, because my father was not like that. My father, he really didn't take care of family. And I always feel like if my father was able to make money and take care of family, and then my mom is not, wouldn't live in North Korea. Yeah, so also... Yeah, he was alcoholic and everything. So I just had some idea what kind of man I want to marry. Like the first four is like must have responsibility for family. And then I like, he was a Christian, so I really like it. And then also the politics. I really love politics.
Oh, okay. I don't know that, Angel.
Oh, yeah. So I really like it. So that's why we married.
Oh,
yeah.
And you guys are aligned. In,
Right.
Good.
Yeah.
That's hard, nowadays.
Also, I wasn't very comfortable talking with Americans because my English is not really good. But I was so comfortable talking with him because his mother is Korean. Also, he worked at the Korean church, so he knows how to communicate with Koreans. So I was so comfortable talk to him in English. I think it also makes me to decide to marry. Yeah, otherwise, because communicating is hard, then how can I marry, right? So I marry him, but...
And then communicating,
it's, we had a hard time communicating with each other. When I have a complaint to my husband, I normally try to not talk about it. But my husband wants to tell him my emotion or how I feel, right? But I'm oldest child, and so growing up, I had never expressed my emotion to my parents.
And he wants that.
So like, what are you talking about? It really makes me frustrated. Because what? I really like to talk, but that's totally different.
Emotions are a different world.
Right. Yeah. Also, I don't know like what is my emotion.
I mean, because even like before when you're talking about like being reunited with, like it's hard to bring that up. You couldn't give yourself space to experience that for such a long time.
Right. Yeah, I think it's still hard for me.
Right, I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah, but we had a different experience in childhood. So we have different expectations and standards on just about everything. Whether it's cleaning, parenting, conflict resolution. Our family of origin is so different. So it is something we have to constantly work through and have a patience with each other on. Yeah, there are some times where I can understand my husband when he's going through a hard time, whether in marriage or work or friendship. I compare his feeling with my experiences growing up and have a hard time to understanding what he's feeling because of the comparison to my personal experience in North Korea.
Oh.
Because, okay, now what I have to complain about my life, then I'm just so thankful for everything.
Right.
Like I was homeless, but now I have a house. My husband has a job and I have a job, so we can feed ourselves. So there is nothing I can complain. So when my husband said like, oh, I have a hard time at work or something, like, why it's hard?
And I totally understand where you would come from in that.
Right.
Have y'all been able to find reconciliation? Like, what does that look like? Because he comes from a different place. And how do you hear him out without the comparison? Is that still a work in progress?
It's still work in progress.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm sure.
Yeah, so I thought that I'm really emotional person, but I realized that I'm just getting like a really logical, like,
Okay.
Why it's that hard? Like, something doesn't work, then make it work. It's what I have to do.
Right. Okay.
Like, okay, if there's some problem, I just don't say, oh, it's hard. Just do it. Just make it work. So
I'm so interested what y'all's Enneagrams are now. But to preface, by the way, I didn't have Angel take the test because we're doing all of this. I didn't think Enneagram was, but if we talk about y'all's marriage more later, I feel like I'm kind of thinking about what you guys
Yeah.
So, okay, so that's a huge struggle.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, so sometimes I feel bad for him, as a wife. I have to understand, but
yeah,
so it's just something I'm constantly trying to work on getting better at, like understanding that everyone's emotion and feelings are related to their own personal experience growing up, So I think for parenting, I feel like I'm really struggling between being a strong mom and gentle mom. Looking back, I had a hard time living in North Korea, but it was not bad for me. It really made me growing and stronger, So sometimes I teach my son Bennett to be independent, but sometimes I teach him like a baby. I just feel like I know how life is hard, so I know he should be independent. So if he just bored or like I just told him like, get up, you are okay, something like that. But on the other side, I just thought like, I feel like I lost my childhood. But I don't want Ben to lose his childhood like me. So I'm still trying to working on it, how I have to raise my son. But also I'm so thankful my son is not growing up in North Korea.
Yeah.
So when he was born, I just pray first, God, thank you so much. He's not born in North Korea.
Amen.
Yeah, I cannot imagine because I had a really hard time delivery. Yeah, it was total 35 hours. Yeah, and I got induction.
Oh my God.
I know, I got C-section. I was so thankful Penny was not born in North Korea.
Logistically.
Yeah. Really? Yeah, my mom almost died. Yeah, when she delivered me. She almost died. So I know how much it's difficult to have kids in North Korea. So last month, my son hurt his hand by accident.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That's when we were supposed to we were going to talk about it. We didn't schedule anything, but okay, so yes, talk about this experiment.
We went to emergency room and they took the x-ray and stitched his hand. At that time, I was worried about my son and I was so sad. But also, I was so thankful he's living in America. If it's the same situation in North Korea, there is nothing much to do. Of course, no x-ray.
Yeah.
Maybe stitching, but no x-ray, there's no painkiller. They don't have medicine. Like I had a younger brother. Even before he was 1 year old, he had diarrhea. There was some virus, so many kids babies had diarrhea. So he went to hospital, get some IV. The doctor, she gave the wrong medicine, so my brother died there. he was not only one. I heard more than 20 babies died at that time. But you know what? The doctor didn't get any punishment because her father works at the government.
Oh my goodness.
That's why even when Betty was emergency room, I was so thankful.
Wow, you really have a unique perspective of like how it can ground you in these type of situations.
Oh yeah. So every time, still, even when I just go for a checkup, he got some shot. I know it's rude, but I always ask the nurse, "Is this right medicine?"
Yeah.
I always pray like, "Oh, please, this is right medicine." Yeah, I think I have traumatized that. Yeah.
I'm so sorry about your brother.
I have recently realized that I don't know anything about American school as a mom.
Oh yeah, we were talking about
yeah,
that. Yes,
I know.
say it.
I thought now I live with my husband for 7 years.
17. Yeah, 7 years.
Okay,
Wow.
7 years. Wow, 7 years, right? And I live in Dallas for more than 10 years. So I thought I'm Texan, and
Y'all.
but I was so surprised. I don't know anything about American school. So I have a new experience as a mom now. So like, for example, my son's school made a goodie bag for Valentine's Day. I had no idea what a goodie bag was. I have to search the internet for it.
Because you didn't grow up.
I know.
It's a goodie bag.
I know. Yeah.
Like, because if I have to do stuff like that too for daycare or just like make the goodie bags, and I'm like, ugh, why do I have to make these goodie bags? And then like we were talking about this at church, and I'm like, you don't know what a good, and for right reason you shouldn't, but like you have to research all of these things, and I like wouldn't even second guess that, and so that's just sorry, continue.
Yeah, and like some Dr. Seuss.
Dr. Seuss, yes.
Dr. Seuss.
Yes.
Like, what is Dr. Seuss? I read a book for Bennett, only one book, but like, okay, I think Dr. Seuss is a big deal or something like that. Yeah, like another example, I asked church kids how old she was. And she said she's in second grade. When I heard that, I had to ask her again, like, so how old are you?
Yeah.
Because I didn't go to school here, I'm still unfamiliar with the age group of each grade.
Right.
If it's in North Korea, they say like, I'm second grade. Oh, okay, I think you are 13, 14, something like that. But I had no idea when they go to school.
Right.
So it's all new for me. Yeah. So it's new experience.
I mean, that's hard for me to even know what the
really?
age. It's I'm realizing 5-year-olds is kindergarten. I don't think I realized those things. So like, yeah, I realized that how much culture is just so naturally embedded, and that's difficult,
Yeah. So everything is a learning experience to me as a mom.
Yeah.
It's what I have to learn. Yeah, it is also hard for me to fit in with other Korean moms. Even I told you I'm more comfortable with South Koreans than North Koreans. Yeah, but there is a gap. Like I can really understand, Yeah, we look the same and speak the same language, but it's not easy for me to engaging with the South Korean moms, and I cannot really figure out what they need to change or to differently. I just try so hard to understand South Korean moms, the groups of people who I cannot really understand. I really try to understand. I really try to work through it, but I just realized that, wow. Yeah, there is something I really cannot understand.
You can't.
Yeah. It's a constant work in progress and a constant effort of going outside of my comfort zone, or learning which is socially or culturally acceptable as a North Korean parents living in United States. I have a tendency to connect more with and be friends with people that are much older than I am. It's difficult for me to connect with the people my age or younger. I have to try to understand why and work on it, but it's still difficult. I have a hard time relating to their experience and life stories. I think it's because I had to take care of my family at such a young age after my mother defected, and it took away such a large part of my childhood.
Yeah.
I had to grow up so early and so quickly. It seems to be a common experience, young North Korean defectors, I feel like. Yeah. Just to take care of Bennett, I'm kind of feel like, oh, I feel so bad for the young Angel.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, yeah, she was so young. I never thought about it.
And now it's like all surfacing.
I cannot imagine when Ben is 10 years old, when my mother left.
I know.
Especially 9 years old, you know.
Right.
I will have really...
I think every year, even as you're sharing, like maybe there will be different emotions that surface for the first time for you, and just giving yourself that space to honor that and whatever that comes out. But yeah, it's going to be definitely interesting for you to like, you know, raise Bennett and then see that with your own experiences.
Yeah.
When you go through those things, do you process them out loud, or like do you talk to Matt about it? Like when you kind of realize like, oh, this has affected a part of a life that's like so far removed, but such a big part of who you are.
Right.
Like the other quote this is one I wanted to read today is, this is from The Way Forward. Sometimes we go back to our old life for a little while to remember that it no longer fits. And so I think even as we're talking, like you have had experiences where you have flashback of your old life, you know, and even moving forward, you're going to keep having those experiences of like, wow, Bennett here, you here, like you're gonna remember your old life, and like I'm just so excited, and also like I know it's gonna be tough. You're gonna have to like revisit these places and also like claim that no longer is a part for you, even though it is a part. It's so hard. Angel, oh my gosh, it's an ongoing journey.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm like overwhelmed here. But yeah, even as I read that, were you able to resonate at all with like when I talk about an old life of yours versus does it fit? Like, does that even make sense to you anymore, besides when you compare it with like an experience someone else has? Like, I think when it comes back for you, from what I'm hearing, it's like if Matt is struggling with something, then you're like, that's when it revisits. Versus, do you ever like just sit and think about the old life and then, I don't know, does that make sense? Like,
yeah, I understand, but at that time, I didn't really have a chance to think about like why.
Yeah.
You know? And then even I come here, even I got married, because I'm not really used to it, having question about my life or for me. So I never like just say or think about like, oh, what about if my life was like different way, or like why I was like that, what I'm gonna do differently or something like that. Yeah, I just raising Bennett is like wow, he's 3 years old. So next, actually Korean age he's 4, right?
Yeah.
So this time when my sister was this young, my mom left.
Yeah.
He was still baby to me, you know, something like that. So I think take care of Bennett. Yeah, I feel like I will more growing up with Bennett.
Yeah.
Like also looking back my life, and I think I will have a chance to think about how I felt at that time. But I still don't know.
Yeah.
Because
and there's no way you can process everything, you know.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
But this is a beautiful kind of just to like,
yeah.
What a interesting and like a special. I don't want to say like it's like it's gonna be a precious journey, like raising Bennett. And I think like, you know, like all mothers get to have a precious journey of that, but just like to see how that can hopefully heal, even reclaim parts of your childhood. Not that you could ever get your childhood back, but like whatever that is and giving you the power to change that, you know, for your family is really inspiring to think about.
Yeah, thank you for letting me think about it.
Yeah. Maybe if you don't process on your, I'll invite you again each time. Maybe
anytime.
when Bennett's 9, we'll have a talk.
Oh, yeah.
That one will be a heavy conversation.
Oh, Yeah, I cannot imagine how I feel when Bennett is... every year, raise Bennett, I have a different emotion, like think about being mom, parents, my sister. Yeah, I think it's really special to me.
Yeah. I did have one question. When you were sharing at the beginning, I think about, how for Matt, he was one of many that knew you, you know, and just like in general, your identity has definitely been based on either your mom and that, like affecting your childhood.
Right.
And then even here, initial identity is North Korean defector, you know, and even here, that's like the topic I asked you to share upon, you know, and like, while that's a huge part of you, like, when people were to see you or when you are to think of yourself, like, who is Angel? Like, what do you wish people would see? Or whether it's people or yourself, you know, but like beyond North Korean defector, which is a huge part, like, is there anything else you would want to make, you know, do you get what I'm saying?
You know, my dream was living normal life, not North Korean defector, not the daughters of a trader, you know, because without my choice, since I was 9 years old until I got married, I was always something really special, like pretty known for everybody without my choice. So some people ask me to do YouTube or so share my story, you know, or just write book or something like that. But I just always say like, no, I want to live normal life. That's my dream. Because I don't want people know me. It was really hurtful for me. There is so much rumor. There is some true, but there is so much rumor. Even I didn't do that. And it's so uncomfortable. I don't have any information for other people, but they know me.
Right.
Oh, they say, oh, I heard about you. Yeah, I heard, there's North Korean defector, blah, 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 blah. I said, really? Something like that. Now I just think differently. I think I get better after I have a Bennett and just got married. And North Korean defector is me.
Yeah.
You know?
I see. Yeah.
So I don't mind to share my story. And I'm just living my life hard. Just trying to be good mom and good wife, and good friend. And also, North Korean defector is also part of my life. I just enjoying it, So I don't really hide it to people, you know. There's no reason,
Thank you, Angel. Okay, before I wrap, would you want to share anything else that maybe you prepared or a message? Or
I think you give me enough time, so
I know. I'm sorry.
I think I shared everything. What I prepared. Of course, there's more story. But I will save it for
Well, I know this. I feel like I learned so much from you today, and I think even just a reminder of how much everyone has a story. Yours is like, oh my goodness, you know, but everyone has a battle that they fought, that they were fighting. And I think even just little things of like how to better communicate, or I feel like I'm gaining so much perspective from our conversation today. And I'm glad that in this season, where to me you are like very vibrant Angel, you know, and super like not loud in a constant way. I think you're like, I feel like there's so much life when you're around is something I feel, is what I mean. I hope we can. And so I hope that that's something even like in this new season, where just like a phrase you said a lot throughout was like, without my choice, this was what happened, you know? And so I just am excited that as you and Matt build this foundation for your family, there's like a lot of like with your choice now, and like you get to make that change. And I feel like that's such an exciting part to get to watch and hopefully hear about, and just like praise God for really being faithful in your journey. So I really appreciate you coming here and sharing this. Thank you. Me fangirling, I'm like sweaty. I feel like I learned so much. Yeah, I'd like to invite you and Matt on next time to talk about, maybe me and Matt can also talk.
Oh, yeah, Matt. Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah,
he's really good talking.
And
And he's really funny.
Yeah. I feel like we don't know you guys yet, you
Oh,
know?
yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like
right.
there's so many layers
Right,
to unfold.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's exciting.
Yeah,
But
I'm excited too. Yeah, maybe Matt and I can come and I can
with
do
me and
okay.
Matt, and we could
It's
talk
gonna
about
be-
marriage and like
yeah.
interracial marriages and, you know, being, all these things.
But I don't want to talk about marriage. Maybe you don't want to. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I see.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, of course. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
Okay, well, if you are listening and you were just as like blessed and inspired from listening to, these will probably be 2 episodes. So if you were listening, you have any questions or just want to connect, please email or ask or comment, because I feel like this was such a special story to share. And I feel really grateful for this podcast to connect Angel and myself in a deeper way as well. So thank you again for listening to another episode of
Color Commentary.
Bye.
Bye.